No, this is Jason Anson from G Style Magazine, and it's that time again. Google has announced the Google Pixel 3 at a Made by Google hardware event on October 9th. We now have it in house, and we're going to talk about it. Google being a software company, we're going to see if software trumps hardware, and what are the thoughts? Of course, we're going to talk about that notch. So, let's talk about it. So this is the Google Pixel 3, Google's third generation phone. After the events of last year with the Google Pixel 2 and 2 XL, Google needed to correct a few things. This year, with the Google Pixel 3, Google has given us a better screen, correcting last year's events. Also, wireless charging was added, better camera tech, and all wrapped in a powerful AI and machine learning with Google's Assistant. At the Made by Google announcement, it was clear to see Google isn't playing the specs game. Not to say the hardware is inferior, just Google being a software company really shows off with what it can do software-wise. But here are a few specs. The Pixel 3 has a 5.5 display versus the 6.3 for the XL. Both models have a 12.2 megapixel camera for the rear and an 8 megapixel camera wide angle and a normal camera in the front. The rear camera can shoot video up to 4K at 30 frames per second, and the front can do about 1080p at 30 frames per second as well. Both devices get a slight bump up in processor with the move to the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor, and both share about 4 gigs of RAM. But before we can even talk anymore, we have to talk about the notch. This year, the Pixel has a notch, but not if you're getting the Pixel 3. Now, if you're looking to buy the Pixel XL, yes, the notch is there, and honestly, it isn't going nowhere. Yes, you can turn it off with a developer setting, but I really wouldn't suggest it because you'll lose a lot of screen real estate in the process. But since I've been using it for just about a week now, I honestly could say the notch isn't really that bad. Okay, no, it is. It is highly noticeable. But in using my apps and just going about my day, I honestly can say that I really haven't given the notch a second thought. After about that first day, after a few hours, you really don't even pay attention to it. You kind of scroll through your apps, you do what you normally do, and every once in a blue you may pay attention to it, but it hasn't really hindered my experience. I still love using the device, notch or notchless. But if you really feel adamant about it, the notch this year has been very divisive. It has the camp of people who hate the notch. There's no one really that says they love the notch. More like the camp of people who can tolerate the notch and just be fine with it. So your mileage may be different. You may feel, you know what, you just can't deal with the notch. Now, if that's the case, I would honestly say you want to get the Pixel 3. But if you still want the XL, I will let you know the notch isn't really going to be a problem. That's just my take on it, but you let me know how you feel about it. Now, the one last thing I will say about the notch is that when it comes to watching videos, that's where I really thought that would be a problem. But as you can see here, watching some Black Panther, the phone seems to compensate for the notch, and you don't even see it when you watch it. I've tried to minimize the screen and maximize it, and honestly, I've had just as good as a video experience as I had on any other device. So when it comes to me, I'm okay with the notch. Like I said, you let me know how you think about the notch. Alright? Now, let's talk about comparisons. Now, when you compare the Google Pixel 3 XL to the last year's model, the Pixel 2 XL, honestly, design-wise, much hasn't really changed. They look almost identical. Some slight design changes now to accommodate for wireless charging, but for a bare bones design, they look exactly alike. Again, correcting mistakes of last year, the Google Pixel 3 XL definitely has a better screen than it did on the Pixel 2 XL. For the Pixel 2 XL last year, I didn't honestly see anything wrong with the model I was reviewing, but comparing it up to the Pixel 3 XL, I can clearly see the difference, and I can see where Google has took the time to make the changes and to make it better. This is definitely the screen that you should have been last year, and I'm glad they have it in the Pixel 3 this year. But let's talk about some features. So, when it comes to the camera, there's a feature Google has called Super Res Zoom. It takes the shaking of the hand when you zoom and it layers the images together so you get a higher resolution picture. This is definitely handy because it doesn't have an optical zoom. Another feature is called Top Shot. With Top Shot, it takes multiple pictures before and after the exposure, so that way it can recommend which is the better one to use. So this way you can always get the best shot if someone's moved or blinked their eye, went in the air. You always get the best recommendation based upon the shot it sees. This is definitely cool if you're chasing kids, animals, things that just don't want to stand clear when it's time to take their picture. Now, as a father of a very active preteen and a dog who just never wants to stand still, Top Shot is definitely the feature that you want to have.
Amongst the other camera features, one of the great things that Google has done with the Google Pixel 3 is a thing called call screen. This is a great example of the AI machine learning that Google has put into the software side and makes for a great experience with this phone. With call screen, whenever you get a call, you can now choose to pick up, hang up, or call screen. Call screen will have Google's Assistant interact with the caller for you, and as that's happening, you will see a live transcription of what the conversation is about. You can now see who's calling, what they want, and you have a pre-select selection of answers you can choose to interact with that call without talking to the person. Now, if it's a scammer or a telemarketer, you can simply block them. If it's someone you want to talk to but maybe can't because you're busy right now, you can choose I'll call you later, and Google's Assistant will do that for you. Now, this is all happening right here on the phone locally. So this is such a great feature to have, and I can see so many use cases. Hopefully no one gets ghosted by this feature, but hey, you now have that ability if you want to.
So now when a call comes in, you have the option to reply by text or now call screen. When you choose call screen, Google's Assistant now will interact with the caller and tell them that you're busy, but tell them who you are and why you're calling, and then you will now see a live transcription of what is being said right on your phone. So if you're busy, you can see who it is and if you want to pick up or not. You also get a select option of how to interact and reply back to the user. If you want to speak, you can, but if not, you can just hang up the call. This is perfect for if you're busy and can't talk now, or if you have a scammer, you can always block them if you need to. And that's Google Call Screen. Now let's talk about the Google Pixel Stand. Google's accessory that right now only works with the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL. This is the stand that you can put your Pixel 3 on, and it is a wireless charging base that uses the Q compatible standard to wirelessly charge your phone whenever placed on the device. But the Pixel stand can do so much more. The very first time you put your Pixel 3 device on the stand, you'll see a prompt come up to kind of pair your device with the Pixel stand. The Pixel stand can do quite a few software things to your phone once you have placed it on there. As you can see, not only does it charge, but it can enable the Google Assistant to kind of live right there at the bottom of the screen. You can touch it, it can answer you, it can interact with you without having to unlock the phone. You can ask Google questions like you normally do, or you can ask it about your day, and it'll give you a list of whatever's going down for today. One of the other very cool things about the Google Pixel Stand is a set of new settings that you can do when placed upon it. One is called Photo Frame. With Photo Frame, you can, kind of like the Google Home Hub, you can see albums you chose rotate on the device when it's not in use. So, little picture frame on your nightstand and you're all set to go. Another cool feature is you can choose Do Not Disturb, or turn your screen off when it's dark, or a thing called Sunrise Alarm, which warm lights up your phone and increases the brightness until your alarm comes on. As you can see with the Google Pixel Stand, it can be placed on it vertically or horizontally, and the photo frame will work in both settings. Now, the Google Pixel Stand does cost $79, so that could be a hard pill to swallow if you just want to use the charger that it comes with. It does come with an 18-watt charger that does fast charging and will charge your phone beyond capable. But Again, with the Google Pixel Stand, you get a cool way to wirelessly charge your phone. It does do its own fast charging at 10 watts, but it also has a nice cool software features on the side. Do I recommend it? Honestly, I do. And if you're a Google Pixel 3 owner, you might want to use it too. But again, it's totally not needed for the purchase of the phone.
Alright, so as you can see, I am in the car. I had to finish this video, but I had to get some food and I am stuck in drive-thru. So why not take this time to show you the video footage from the Pixel 3 XL while I wait. So to wrap up, the Pixel 3 starting off at $799 and the Pixel 3 XL coming in at $899. That's both for the 64GB version. If you want to bump up to 128, that will cost you a little bit extra. But between the 3 and the 3 XL, all the hardware is the same camera, same OS, same specs. Only real difference is the battery size, with the Pixel 3 XL having a little bit more of a battery than the Pixel 3. Software is king, and I think Google's software will make a great a great overall phone experience. But that's just my opinion. I'm Jason Anderson, and you've been checking out us on G Style Magazine. Take care.